Okay, hello and welcome. This is going to be vlog number 1, or I think I'm going to label it 101. And it's going to be the first of a series of vlogs about the JET interview process. I had planned to make these actually later in the month, but I'm already hearing from UK Jets that they have their interviews this week and next week. So I wanted to sort of start to get some information out there. Please, when you find out when your interview is, send me a PM and tell me so I kind of know how much time I have. I don't think there'll be many of these. There isn't a whole lot to talk about because there's so many variables involved with any interview, but I hope to give you some guidance and some good ideas of what to expect. I wanted to interview on camera some of the first-year Jets in my area. So hopefully I'll still be able to do that maybe in time for the US and Canadian Jets. And I did actually go out to lunch with Ashley and Eric, two first-year ALTs in my area, and I actually didn't have my camera, but I talked to them about their interview, and they told me some of their sample questions, and I got some good ideas from them about things I can talk about. But I highly encourage any of you that are watching this that are past or present ALTs or CIRs to please leave a comment, give some advice, tell us something that you were asked in your interview, tell us a story about your interview, anything that you have that pertains to the interview process. We'd be happy to hear from you, and you know, of course, video responses are also excellent. Okay, so let's get down to business. The first thing you should know is that it's a job interview. Many of you are in college or will have just graduated from college recently, and this might be your first real job interview for something other than a MIC job, you know, something at a fast food restaurant or waiting tables at a pizza parlor or what have you. You know, there are a few things, any job interview, people will tell you. First impressions are important. The three people, and I'll get to that in a minute, who's going to be interviewing you, but most likely the three people that you're going to walk into that room and spend 20 minutes with can ultimately decide your fate as to whether you go or not as a Jet. So, dress appropriately. You know, if you're a woman, maybe a business suit, a pantsuit, you know, something like that. You know, if you're a man, shave. You know, I'm not saying that you can't have a beard if that's what you naturally have, but, you know, make sure it's clean and neat. You know, maybe if you're really pierced, take out some piercings. If you're a guy, I definitely would recommend wearing a business suit, at least a coat and tie. You know, but every ALT will tell you that when they went to their interview, there was somebody there in a hoodie or jeans and a t-shirt, or, you know, I don't know where you would be, where it would be warm enough for jeans and a t-shirt, but, you know, and you'll see that person sitting in the lobby, you know, the waiting room with you, and then, you know, 3 months later they'll be on the plane with you going to Japan, and you're like, how the hell did that person get in? So some people might argue that dressing well isn't important, but I would. You know, it's an important thing in your life. You've spent a lot of time preparing for it. You know, dress the part. Dressing up, while I don't even like wearing a tie, and luckily at work I don't have to wear one, you know, when I do wear a tie and I have my suit on, I feel a little more important, I got to admit. You know, dressing the part makes you feel the part, you know. The people interviewing you, especially the older people, will definitely be dressed probably in suits and very business-like attire. Appropriate language. You know, when you go in, you know, one ALT that I spoke to, Ashley, her big advice was be yourself. And I agree. I mean, you want to present who you are, but you want to put the best sheen, the best, shine on yourself. And if you're a person that uses a lot of slang or a lot of colloquialisms, elevate your language a little bit, perhaps. If you say dude and things like this a lot, maybe drop that for 20 minutes and try to think about your audience and who these people are and how you should address them verbally. Okay, so who will be interviewing you? I can only speak really for America because that's where I've heard the most stories about. So I'm eager to hear if you UK Jets see this video and you've done your interview in the next few weeks, please leave comments. But generally the way it goes is there's going to be 3 people interviewing you. At least 2. I've never heard of only one person being the interviewer. So generally this is going to be one Japanese person at least who mainly speaks Japanese. And generally this person will ask you the fewest amount of questions. They usually will work for the consulate or the Japanese government in some way. And in my interview it was a woman who worked at the the American Embassy of Japan in Los Angeles. Does that make sense? I don't know. Anyway. There'll also be another professional person, a professor, somebody from the business community. They might be Japanese American, they often are, but they could be any random person. Mine happened to be a Japanese American man who was an engineering professor at a local LA college. And then usually you will also have one former ALT or former Jet also in on the interview process, somebody that maybe works recruiting jets or just volunteered to do the interviews. In my case it was a guy, I was 34 years old when I did my interview and he was much younger than me. He had lived in Japan for 2 years as an ALT and he was probably in his late 20s. But he was a good guy, I got lucky. He asked relevant questions. When I spoke with Ashley, she said that the lamest questions that she got were from the former Jet. So just because they have some empathy for you maybe, or a modicum of knowledge about being in Japan doesn't mean they're necessarily going to be asking you the most interesting questions. Okay, so I'm already at 8 minutes. I want to obviously make this multi-part, so I think I'm going to end the first one here. I'll film the next one today because I've got this room and my stove's going and it's relatively warm in here despite being very cold outside. And I'll do part 2 right now and hopefully get them posted, one after the other, and then we'll go on with the series from there. Of course, if you have questions, etc., please leave comments or send PMs, and good luck, of course, on your interviews. I know you guys will do really well. Okay, more soon. Bye.